Good. A horrible way to start a show. Should have just taken 5 seconds and just gone and then hit the button. But I was so excited. I thought, let me start the show, and people can hear me clear my throat, so they know it's real. So they know they're getting the authentic me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. It is Sunday morning. I am here. The lighting is somewhat better. It's a little brighter outside, which is nice and hopeful. And then we got that Groundhog Day shit coming up. That whole routine. Of course, this society would become rife with conspiracy theories if we routinely celebrated Groundhog Day and we adhere to it. We talk about it in schools. Oh my God, what did the groundhog say to Charlie? Like, seriously? Are we doing? And there's multiple. That's the other thing was like, wasn't even a tight conspiracy. Groundhog Day they didn't even stick to one. Multiple groundhogs, and they all say different things. If there's any allegory for, religion, how there's so many religions, and then people arguing on things, it's that we couldn't even pick one groundhog for Groundhog Day. Everyone had to have their own groundhog, and sometimes they would say this, sometimes they would say that. Also, what they say really makes no difference in the long run. It's of no consequence at all. Now that that's out of the way, just got to look at these. They have green, but they have orange or tangerine. Maybe these are oranges, but these look like clementine slices to me. Oh my darling clementine, and then tangerine is also a song. Tangerine. I wonder if it was written by a guy, just somebody who loved citrus. Clint said, hello, Mr. City. Forgot my name. Sean said, hello, Culties. Hi, Mr. City. A weird thing to say. That's some blown out hair in that thumbnail there. Yeah, I took it down and shook it out, and I had a good time. Jonathan Santos is here and said, long time no speak, y'all. He's returned. I was genuinely surprised to see RJ abandon his pursuit of Vicki Lawrence in favor of old Tina Ferrari herself, Ivory. The Royal Rumble was last night, and Ivory was fantastic and funny and wonderful. And I also heard that she does community theater, and I thought, this is somebody I need to be booked with. Mia said, good morning, Vietnam. Well, I hardly think it's the time to start bringing the war into it, dear. People gave their lives for that, and this is a forum for fun and frivolity, and not for the gravitas of such an event. Thank you. Christine said, hello, RJ and chat. Dehydrated and tired, but happy to be here. Just drink some water. Drink some water. Every time I drink water, some will go down my chin invariably. I don't know why. Is my mouth too open? Am I not closing it enough? Some people will put their mouths, but you put your mouth, you put the opening of the bottle on your top lip. Some people will put their whole mouth on it and drink that way. Not only does it look curtly suggestive, it's not a fun way to drink. It goes right into the back of your throat. Susie said good morning. Andrea said good morning. Nail said good morning. Sean said my stories are on. Everybody shouted, I am the new all my children. Leo, oh Lord, I've missed so many people already. Leo is here. Austin said good morning, unless you're in a different time zone. Well, it's still good. You just say good. Jack's box is on time for once. Minicoletta said good morning. Spot Center is waving. Nail said, I would like my own groundhog. I bet you weren't. They are vicious creatures. They don't want to be pet. They don't want to be looked at. Even in those, because there's no groundhog that has a better life than a Groundhog Day groundhog. To do with the gloved man in a top hat pulling them out of a hole. What did you see? What are you talking about? And why do you only do this once a year if it's that significant? If I could predict the weather, shouldn't I be used more? That was my groundhog monologue. Leo said, what is your favorite citrus? I'm going to go with the clementine. The orange is too acidic, and quite frankly, it's too hard to peel. One time, and I'll never forget the imagery, I was in high school, and our school bus would for some reason get there early, like before anybody else. So it was always like our bus hanging out of school for like 15 minutes in the beginning of the day. And I remember I had an orange. I'm talking to somebody, and I tried to peel it, and I had just cut my nails. So not only could I not peel it, but it hurts because then you get like the citrusy, the acid under your skin. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then this guy comes and goes, oh, I'll peel it. One of my friends, I'm like, oh, okay, great. She holds the orange, sticks his thumb into the navel area of the orange like this, and then like works it around. I don't want to eat your thumb now. I don't want that. It was just one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Christine said, Wyerton Willie forever. Andrea said, someday a tangerine Speedo. Yes, I'm only accepting citrus underwear as gifts now. Sean said, weird thing to say. I've said the same thing in the chat. It was a weird thing to call myself Mr. City. I thought it made me feel weird to say. Does that make sense? Charlie said, how are you feeling today, RJ? Full of zest. Todd said, good Gettysburg. And it was a good address. It's my favorite one. Tiffany said, good morning, everyone. Jack's Box said, I'm here for RJ teaching us how to drink. People do this, and it's wrong. Look at that. It just looks, even if you're on the bus, let's remove the sexuality from it. Even if you're just on a bus, you see someone drinking like that, just put your lip on the bottle, for God's sakes. Hafeshian said, good morning. Leo said, would you rather walk in on Maury doing a poo, and he has to call it that, or be talking to Stanley Tucci and he turns around and you notice a thong sticking out of his pants? Let's even take the thong out. I would still rather watch Maury take a shit. I'm not watching him. I'm just walking in on him. I've just made my own scenario out of this. Maury. The answer is Maury, period, no matter what it is. Rachel said, remember when the New York City mayor dropped the groundhog and killed the poor thing? Yeah, it's a thing we should stop doing. Just make it. It's not even a holiday, but these people have to like waste their normal working hours to tolerate this shit. Who is enjoying this anymore? Past like, I don't know, 1960? By 1961, it must have been like, okay, enough. This is not doing anyone any good. Charlie said, I miss what started the groundhog diatribe. I think they said it was getting lighter outside. That was it. That was the only thing that started it. And I'm so sorry. SM said, imagine RJ's shenanigans on the bus. I was a hip bus guy. I was a good person to sit next to. At least I think. It was probably incredibly annoying. Nail said, I remember the octopus that predicted the World Cup. What animal would you like to predict something for you? And what would you like him to predict? See, this is getting out of hand. This is my thing. When like people see one thing that was a thing, then they try to make the same thing out of other things. Like, you know how Dark Side of the Moon syncs up with the Wizard of Oz? I always think about the hours and hours wasted by other people who tried to pair other albums with other movies. Paul Simon's still crazy after all these years, and 3 Men and a Baby. Let's see what we got. Never mind. Leo said, are you watching the new Jackass movie? Not right now. I will not, since there's a Spider-Man trailer. But thank you for the heads up, Leo. I will not be watching that ever. Mia said, I had a nectarine for breakfast. Well, congratulations to you. Aaron said, sorry I'm late. I was toasting a crumpet. Are we just breakfast flexing in the comments here? Austin said, for breakfast, I'm a sausage person. What is this thread? Nell said, I would rather not eat any type of orange than peel it myself. Yeah, it's not really worth it. Todd said, oops, I'm in Good Morning Gettysburg. Sorry, Mr. It's okay. We've addressed it. Spot Center said, what's up with that protest up there? I do not drive a truck. I do not know what's going on. Neil said, now I want a crumpet. Heck, Kate. Antonia said, I'm drinking coffee with Disaronto Amaretto in it whilst watching. Well, aren't you? You're the winner. You won. You out breakfast everybody. Let's be honest. Leo said, I will make sure I buy crumpets tomorrow, maybe scones too. Aaron said, I feel like an influencer. Everyone's on this crumpets kick now. Andy said, disappointed RJ didn't appear in the Rumble. Should have been a spot where he dumped a pour over on someone. I mean, it would have made no sense and confused everyone, but sure. Gar said, good morning. Also, I'm late. Nail said, it's like we're easily influenced like a cult. Jack said, everyone breakfast flex. Guard Swan has been a member for 2 months and is now celebrating it with this lovely mint tribute. Happy 2-month cultiversary to me. How's Sylvie? Well, it's Sylvia, and she's let me she's right there. One moment, please. She's doing good. Hi. She will enjoy. Excuse me? Pardon me? Hector said, my divinity extends to all areas, including breakfast. SM said, I was going to have my croissant with some high anxiety, and my coffee machine decided to stop working, thereby giving you really your own anxiety, which is nice. Everyone's cheering. We're having a good time. Nail said, wrestling doesn't have to make sense. Danhausen was attached to a chair under the ring after all. I mean, it kind of makes sense that he would just be randomly on the ring. He seems like a guy who would just be living underneath the ring. She's on the mouse now. But the mouse doesn't pick it up. Sean said, truly the star of the program. SM said, does Sylvia watch wrestling? No, she looks out the window, though. She looks at the snow and sometimes the cars. It's pretty much it. Is that it? They got the gist? They got the gist? Anything? Nothing? She's enjoying this. Maybe this is a window or something, you know? Leo said, when do you think Mimosa Mayhem 2? I have no idea. I want the Lime Ricky extravaganza. That's what I'm pitching to Tone. She seems to be enjoying herself. Val said, can we get Sylvia merch? I don't know if I want to exploit an animal like more so than I am doing now. Okay. Let me put her. Say goodbye to everybody. Yeah, good. Okay, good connection. She was on the couch. She was having a good time. We're all having a good time. Leo said, we need a cold brew chaos match. Maybe I'll just upgrade to the Lime Ricky. Andrea said, will Sylvia ever make a babyface cameo? No, I think there's 2 separate universes. I think I've clearly established the cat here and not in the babyface universe. Guard said, bye, Sylvia. Val said, she said yes. Speaking of, there is more babyface goodness coming tomorrow morning. So do stay tuned. And then what else is going on? Nothing, really. Nothing at all. Rachel said she wants you to make Sylvia Mark. I'm not going to make. I would feel so bad, and then I feel like I'd have to spend the money on the cat. The odd system. Like I need it. She's generally speaking paid for. I need the money. Christine said, I just waved and said goodbye, Sylvia. I'm totally normal. And let's be abnormal. Let's just press. What the hell? Neil said, RJ and Dalton visiting a cat cafe together, drinking cold coffee and chatting would be a wonderful TV show. Why are you telling me, who has really no money and resources to make that happen? Tell someone a little more popular. Scott said, is there a card or sticker unboxing you have an eye on next? Well, I have a lot. There's a big pile that I'm slowly getting through. So each week there's more and more until April or May. There's a bunch. One pack I found, and I don't even want to get into it right now. I found a child that had Desert Storm cards. Speaking of the war in Vietnam, I have no idea how I got them, why I got them, but I will be unboxing them. Todd said, are you removing your albums from Spotify. I mean, at this point, I have what, 28 episodes of a podcast on Spotify, but it's not significant enough that would not that I don't want to remove them, but also I'm like, I feel like I'm just riding on Joni Mitchell's coattails, which I've done so many times before. It's a little difficult. Oh, girl said, everyone waiting for the big storm midweek? Not me. I don't think we have one. Yolanda said, hey, good morning, y'all. Nail said, I had my big storm yesterday. People got hit, and it was snowing. And, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what the Groundhog sees. If this is going to be more of the same or less of it. Yolanda said, good morning, all. Poe Girl says, is there ever going to be a meeting of Van Velzen and Danhausen? Or has that already happened? If somebody wants to book it, if somebody wants to pay for it, not only the travel, but pay Van Velzen and Danhausen on top of that, I think, yeah, it's possible. I'm not just going to run around and do this shit for free. You know what I'm saying? Rachel said, we just had our storm here too. I have no desire to shovel out my car. Just wait till it melts. It's the value of not going anywhere is that you have nowhere you need to be. Enjoy it. Yolanda said, yeah, I'm over this storm, but it's the end of February. There's nothing going on. Just stay in. See, this guy had Sylvia, and I got all this cat stuff, like his hair, and then I think it's, man, like, oh my God, this is the longest nose hair in the world, and it's just cat hair. Pogo said, let's make that happen. Okay, are you booking anything? Leo said, I think it's funny that the guy from The Disturbed criticized Neil Young. The fucking guy who ruined both The Sound of Silence and Stone Cold's entrance music. Hate the Sound of Silence cover. Love the Stone Cold cover. We're going to disagree there. Todd said, sounds like there's a war on Groundhog Day brewing. I don't understand how you can't have animals in the circus anymore, but you can still have Groundhog Day. You know? This town knows nothing about animals or anything. They're going to keep a groundhog for a whole year in the dark. He's not handled. He's not fed. Never looks happy. Find me a happy groundhog. Pogo said, craving carbs and wanting to sleep till spring. I'm getting it. Nail said, I got a care package from England, so I was well prepared for a weekend indoors, along with everyone's rootless coffee. Speaking of, if you like high anxiety coffee and you like the bag the way it is, get it while you can, because it will not be available anymore. Soon, there may be a new bag. So I would get the one while you can. And enough Danhausen. I hate when it's like, oh, you're on TV, buy his coffee. He's like, no, how about I'm not on TV, buy my fucking coffee. You know what I mean? We're all throwing money at the same source. Enough. He's good. We got the gist. Buy mine. Brutalistcoffee.com. My area will be hit with the snow this week, said Kate, much to my disdain. It's just snow. Leo said the Disturbed were so shitty, they might as well be a Christian band, like Creed. Neil said, I feel sad about groundhogs now. I've illuminated the reality of what we're dealing with here. Leo said, I had to send someone from Canada some Scream cereal. I'm sure that was fun. Spot Center said, I still have a deck of terrorist cards that came out after 9/11. I remember seeing those and being, how could you play Go Fish? How could you play poker? Rachel said they hibernate. That's why they have to yank them out of the caves. They don't want to get up to predict the weather. So then they should be left alone. If I had a weatherman who slept all day and didn't want to be bothered, I would not get the weather from him. Surely there's got to be other animals that could tell the weather. A pigeon should know. Aren't the geese pretty indicative? Like, don't they do this big show of leaving when it gets too cold? And then they come back when it's warmer? Can't that just be the Groundhog Day? Do we have to bother this poor creature with a man in arbitrarily fancy dress? Nail said, English biscuits, cookies to the USA, crisps, chips, and not so sweet candy. I got into an argument once with Elliot Francis, who played Thorne on Slalom. I think I got into the argument with him backstage, and we did it on the show, was that you don't have lunch In England, you have tea. You have breakfast, tea, dinner, but you have a lunchbox. So it's lunch. And you also still have brunch. How could you have brunch if you don't have lunch? You have breakfast. We know where the brr is coming from. Should really be brie. So maybe you can take that to your council person or something. Andrea said, loving the nanny mug. Thank you. She used to work at a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens. Nail said, wait, Scream cereal is a thing? I must wake up Rob. If so, this is important information. I'm sure he'll be thrilled when you wake him up. Leo said, literally a cereal from the movie Scream. It's strawberry flavored or something. Ah, yeah, stabbing. It tastes like David. It tastes like insomnia and body spray. Rachel said, a guy in a big hat isn't going to grab a goose no matter what the purpose. Those odd men, those, do you ever go to like any sort of small town function and there'll either be a town crier who's got like a three-pointed hat and a giant bell, or there will be a guy in a top hat and he's like, this is what they wore 130 years ago. I was like, yeah, and then people stopped. But it's just a guy who would not. He's like, those are my people. That's where I belong. Blue Meanie is here. Good morning, all. And lest we forget, one of the great Rumble performances is Blue Meanie tickling draws, and I believe Edge in the Royal Rumble. A moment that will live in infamy. It is infamous at this point. Nail said, we just call lunch dinner. So explain. So what comes to weird? What is taking the place of dinner? You have breakfast, you have dinner, and then what do you have? You have breakfast, you have dinner, and then you just go to bed? Or is it breakfast? No, it's breakfast, dinner, tea. What? So, but you don't have, so breakfast is breakfast. Lunch has now become dinner, and tea is where dinner used to be. But you still have a lunchbox, do you not? What are you putting in your lunchbox? Why is it not a dinner box? Why is it not a tea box? And what the fuck is brunch? Still not answering any of my questions. I love how you're correcting me, but the larger issues still remain. Address what I have pointed out here. Pogirl said, what does David taste like, I wonder? Well, if you're lucky enough, he may be just popping into this chat soon to tell you himself. Kate said, I'm grateful I was able to find Scandinavian import shops online. Well, good for you. Nail said, morning, Meanie. A dude called J-Rock on Twitter is doing a giveaway on Twitter to win some Blue Meanie art today. Well, that's adorable if you want to seek that out. And you can also pre-order Meanie's Bone Crunching action figure. And look, I normally don't want an action figure because fucking whatever. But if we could make this baby face thing a hit enough just to get the grayscale action figure like they do with Nosferatu and Alfred Hitchcock, I think that would be fair. That's a fair ask. That's a good idea. Kevin said, what did everyone... Leo said, what did everyone think about Kevin Federline's guest appearance at the Royal Rumble? I thought it was great. I really thought it was fantastic. And he's a wonderful artist. I listen to his music routinely. And my barber loves him too. Eric said, where is brunch? That's what I want to know. SM said, I tried ordering Scream cereal just now. They won't ship to my address. Well, bully for you. Leo, who lives in England, eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this is where that whole punk rebellion came from. Anarchy in the UK. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was that rebellion. And they were saying no to tea. In many ways, saying no to the monarchy. And I thought it was very brave of them. Nail said, stop saying lunch is tea, you weirdo. Bedtime is not morning. Okay, where is brunch? Where does brunch come from for you? It's comprised of what? One thing you have and one thing you don't have. Kate said to Leo, I didn't watch the Royal Rumble. I haven't watched any WWE programming since 2001 because I prefer other promotions. Nail said, like the AWA. Nail said, breakfast, dinner, tea. Get your shit together, or what happened to lunch? That's all I'm asking. Now that you're here, now that you are someone who used to be in the UK, you now live in the States, You should understand it's a lunch-based society. It really is. Plenty of places to get lunch. At lunch, almost everything is open. So where is your lunch? Austin said, as a country kid, I just call dinner supper. Phonetically, I hate saying that. I don't. It grosses me out to say supper. Supple? Is it because it's? I don't like the word supple. Supper. I don't know. I don't like it. I also don't like saying restroom. There's something I don't. Or washroom. I say bathroom, even though there's many times there's no bath in there. Leo said, I want an RJ bone cruncher. Thank you. Michelle said, good morning. I'm late. And the first thing I hear is, I wonder what David tastes like. What kind of chat do we have going on today? We started hating on groundhogs, and we have not slowed down. Nail said, I used to not like celebrities in the Rumble, but Rob said Johnny Knoxville had a brain hemorrhage, so I just wanted him to have fun. That's like a kid who's not so good at baseball. And you're like, just let him run the bases. Let's get this over with. Thought I would have done more, and then I also thought he would have done less. Look, I'll say it. He's no Drew Carey. I also think it's hilarious that a couple of years ago, David was like, Rumble, let's do it. And they were like, absolutely not. And then this year they were like, who wants to come in? Open call. Leo said Johnny Knoxville looks like John Shuttleworth these days. And I don't have the base for that reference. Kate said, RJ, in Denmark, breakfast is called morgenmad, literally translated to morning meal. Brunch is brunch. Lunch is frokost. And dinner is aftensmad. Morgenmad? Aftensmad. Yet they have brunch. That's incredible. That's the real North American invention. We have 3 meals a day. I would like a meal between the first 2 meals. Let's do something like that. And then it caught on so much so that people are having brunch and not knowing why. I think that's really fantastic. Thank you, Kate. Spot Center said, Lufesto is escaping Canada soon and will be here in Pittsburgh wrestling for Wrestle Pittsburgh. Any chance you can stow away in her travel trunk and I can see you too? Go bother some promotions and see if they will pay for me. I'm not that excited to go to Pittsburgh. Been to Pittsburgh before. Go tell IWC and say pay for him and pay him well to come. And then I'll come. Don't be like, why aren't you working anywhere? You got to be like, to the other place, you got to be like, why are they not paying you well enough to come? Do the math there. Pogirl said, wonder if you can black market strawberries and Scream. I'm sure you absolutely could. Eric said, it's not quite breakfast, not quite lunch, but it comes with a slice of cantaloupe at the end. It's a wonderful Simpsons quote. I think the guy was hitting on Marge. You don't get completely what you would get at breakfast, but you get a good meal. But brunch is a mess. When brunch was a thing in Toronto, when food to go out and whatever was happening, it was disgusting. You always have to line up. It's crowded, especially now. Try to go get a brunch. I mean, not now, but I mean like this time of year, you have to bundle up. And then you get into this very small restaurant with a bunch of other people. You immediately start sweating. And then your face is dripping like eating French toast for $30. It's disgusting. Rachel said, yes, supper is an icky word. My dad used to say dungarees. And that's a really annoying word. It is. It really is. It's almost like Oshkosh Bagosh. Could have just said Osh. Could have stopped at Oshkosh. I was sold. And then they were really struggling for the next word. Bagosh. By gosh. Oshkosh, damn it. Minicoletta said, what about a water closet? Well, if I was Jack Parr, I would be told I cannot say that on the air, and I would have walked off. I'll let you kids Google that. Tiffany said, as a child, my mother lived next to a family that had dinner and supper, and they just ate all night from 4 p.m. to like 11 p.m. They just stuffed their faces, and they died so young. Leo said, I hate the word supper too. Good. Michelle said, this one you're going to love. We always call lunch dinner and dinner supper. That's how country I am. But you have a lunch box. You don't have a dinner box. You don't have a supper box. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Rachel said Pete Rose is the Rumble legend among celebrities. Was Pete Rose in the Rumble or was he just at WrestleManias? I just remember his 3 WrestleMania appearances. Kate said, I don't use the word supper either because I don't like it. Well, you've used it in this instance. Yolanda said, Johnny formed the mess out of... Oh, yeah, Johnny Knoxville hit AJ straight. Good for Johnny Knoxville. Standing up for himself. And where is Bam and all this? Did they split up? I remember if talk and wasn't Bam hanging out a little bit, doing that stuff. Todd said, just don't call RJ late for dinner. People don't like Rhonda. I believe she owes me Cobb salad, unfortunately. Rachel said, I vote yes. So Sierra said, Sunday brunch is a big thing here in Southwest Michigan. I have been to brunch there. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. It's too crowded. It's too crowded. I've been in the middle of Detroit, the Hudson Cafe. Oh my God. It's like looks like an emergency room, like a waiting room in a hospital. It's ridiculous. Yolanda said, maybe you need to go to a drag brunch. I only go to those. I've been to a drag brunch once. And the problem with them is that the seating layout is not good to see the show. That's why it's hard to do a dinner and a show. That's why people do dinner and a show. You need like a big area to just put those round tables and sit no one, in front of it. Because the drag show I was at, was all going on behind my head because where I was sitting. And I hated it. I broke my neck watching drag, trying to eat waffles. Nail said, I stopped caring who's a bad person. Yeah. Can't keep up with who you're allowed to like and not to like. People pick and choose to suit them. I certainly have enough people that I don't like that I understand what you're saying. Austin said, what's weird is that last week we were talking about dessert, and now we're talking about the other dining periods. I'm getting everything together. Maybe appetizers next? Who knows? Kate said, they are incredibly enough many places to obtain brunch in Denmark. At least in the major cities like Copenhagen, Odense, and Aarhus. And then you say after, I already forgot what dinner was called. Pre-Morgan and after Morgan. I'm sorry, I've forgotten already. Leo said, has anyone noticed the doctor from My 600-Pound Life looks like Dax Harwood? Are you talking about, I believe his name was Dr. Now, and he says, lay off the sugary drinks, no more Sprite, and you'll be fine. And he's all stooped over and then walks away. And his hair is dyed like wed. His hair is dyed red. I'm fine. I'm choking on the coffee here. Yolanda said, my great-grandmother called every refrigerator brand Frigidaire, which is a great name. It's a great turn on refrigerator. It's angry. It's technical. It's machines. Frigidaire. We're having fun cooling food. Rachel said, oh, damn, I thought Kane was always after Pete Rose at those Rumbles. I didn't realize it was Mania. It was all Manias. Pete Rose was never rumbling. Dave said, is it too late to announce you'll be in the Rumble? I just missed it. I was running. And that's why number 30 was who it was. I missed it. The rant was so long. Neil said, I only got supper when I was young, and my parents had a night out down the pub. They would bring fish and chips home. Supper feels like a rare, naughty treat to me. There is a sexual sup. It's just, shouldn't we just eat? Andre said, did anyone see Brock Lesnar try to put Wee Man through the table at the restaurant? You know who I feel worse for? The waiter. Todd said, hashtag free the groundhog. Michelle said, the farmers around here have a dinner bell, and the church bells go off at noon and 6 to indicate a suggested lunchtime and supper time. So you hear it no matter what? This is very annoying. Leo said there was a wee man who was a manager in UK wrestling. He wasn't very funny. And Kate said, Eggs Benedict is suitable for absolutely any meal. Nail said, moving from England to America, there's more than just naming meals that's hard to get used to. And now I get muddled and forget what to call things based on who I'm talking to. And then people just say, oh, she's a wacky gal. I love her accent. She's so much fun. We just invite her out and just listen to her accent. Leo said, it is Dr. Smith who looks like Dax, but Dr. Now makes me laugh. Are you talking about Dr. Smith played by the wonderful Jonathan Harris? You bumbling bucket of bolts. Is that who we're talking about? Tiffany said, just did some light research. Supper was once used to refer to a light meal you ate at home, while dinner was formal and had more courses. So where are we now? Are we all having supper then? I think we've squeezed out supper. I think dinner has become more formal. Supper is, I guess, more of a snack. Probably the brunch equivalent to what falls between lunch and dinner, or perhaps even after it. Can you have a late night supper? Thank you, though, Tiffany. I really appreciate that. Really ended the argument there. Nail said, don't make fish and chips sexual, Raul Julia. Oh, I love her accent. The way she says it's just fun. I don't know what she's talking about. Let's just invite her out and listen to her accent. Dave said, if there is a dinner theater, is there also a breakfast theater, a lunch theater? I would love to work the brunch circuit. Christine has a 60-second scene. The waiter, as Lesnar, is putting someone through a table at the restaurant. Okay, guys, we have 3 main courses today, but first I want to tell you the app. Yes, no. I've heard of it. It's from a while ago, but I think I've seen. I don't know if I've seen the movie, but I've seen clips. So, anyway, we have some things on tap. We have an IPS. Yes, he is certainly very, very large. Yep, I bet you are. Oh, really? Is wrestling like a sort of WCW kind of thing, or? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. I mean, when I was a kid, I really, Okay. Yes. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be really funny. Let's get the drinks for everyone now, and then I'll give you guys a minute to, sir, Mr. Sir, please, if we could not. Well, I hope you're proud of yourselves. I will see if there's another place to seat you. And scene. That was my impression of the waiter while Brock Lesnar threw Wee-Man through the table. That poor prick. Oh my God, the poor waiter. They had to clean the whole. I love how they're laughing and then they just leave. You never see a Brock Lesnar or Johnny Maxwell go, let me help you clean that up. They have sure, you tip, fine. But you're tipping someone who has to fix a broken table. You've ruined a table. Help. Pick up the cutlery at least. No shame. Leo has a 60-second scene request. Dr. Henry Now from My 600-Pound Life telling Virgil not to drink pee. You're a very good wrestler. You're a very good athlete. You'll do the thing with I've seen you, the $1 Million Man, and you'll stand behind him with the belt. I think it's very good. However, in terms of your liquid, in terms of your hydration, there are things you can drink. There are things you cannot drink. Water you can drink. Tea, green tea, certain coffees you can drink. What you cannot drink, no sugary drinks, no Sprite, and no urine, please. And I know I saw it on you. You have a big, but you can't. So just pour it out, or maybe give it to us. We'll dispose of it later another way. I'm telling you, it's probably for the best that you don't. Water is good, and I know water is in you and comes out of you. It's still not water. It comes out with something different. Do you understand what I'm saying? Otherwise, your health is good. Your blood pressure is very good. What? Oh, sure. Two Doctor Now. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. What? $20? And scene. Rachel said, who is getting up to watch breakfast? I've missed it. Who's getting up to watch breakfast theater like Gilbert Gottfried and Hamlet with some poached eggs? I would get up. Nail said, when I first moved to America, a friend said to me, do you like broccoli Rob? And I said, yes, because I thought they accidentally called me Rob. I do not like this American broccoli Rob. I've also heard it called rapini or perhaps broccolini, although I believe broccolini is slightly different. It's very bitter, but it's named after your husband, so you're going to have to enjoy it. Eric said, I consider this stream breakfast theater. In many ways, it's true. Spot Center said, I was a latchkey kid. My mom had to go to work after my dad left, and I became proficient in preparing la mac and cheese. Well, it's just powder and water. It was very much like the same way you make Kool-Aid. Poe Girl said, my mother-in-law was from Germany, and she served suppers and dinners late because she said they did this in Europe. Well, they did it in Europe, so we're going to do it here. Enjoy. Michelle said, yeah, you expect Charles and Laura Ingalls to come to the door where I come from. Good night. Nail said, I've literally had friends do that. Ask her and listen to how she said. Just ask her anything and listen to her accent. Just ask her about her shoes or something. I don't know. I love it. You ask somebody a question and their response is, I love your accent. You're like, what the fuck do you want from me? Neil said, RJ deserves an Oscar for his perfect scenes, depiction of miffed during these scenes. You can tell I've been a disgruntled waiter before. Kate said, I think that depends on the invite. My grandparents in Poland and my Danish in-laws always serve dinner at 6 in the evening. Mina Coletta said, as someone who worked in food service for 6 years, you really got down the awkward politeness it takes to talk to customers. Congrats. I had a table come in one night. It was very late. It was 2 guys and a girl. And they had pistachio nuts, not even in a bag, in saran wrap. And they put them on the middle of the table. And as they ate the pistachio nuts, they would take the shells and put them in a separate pile, just on the bare table, not on saran wrap. It was the most baffling, disgusting thing I've ever seen. Yolanda said, I'll be honest, back in the day, supper was for poor people and the rich ate dinner. Same with brunch. Brunch is for wealthy wives who do not work, and lunch is for everyone else who do. That is very fair. I think there is a little classism in this meal thing. I think it's brunch because you probably got up late and you don't have to work. That's why you got up late. You don't have anything you need to do. Let's make a different meal for ourselves. We have no need to get up at breakfast when we're working at the mill. Let's do something else, a little more relaxed. Dave said, do you think Brock is a good tipper? I bet he isn't. I feel like when you've taken a viral video at the place and people know you're there, you have to kind of tip well. But I also feel maybe he's smart enough to have like company dinners as part of his contract. Austin said, all this talk about dining is making me hungry again. Well, you can have whatever you want now. It's prime brunch time. Rachel said, I was at a wrestling show and Virgil seemed to just show up and kept telling my husband not to make eye contact. And as soon as he did, he was paying Virgil $20 to take a picture. Virgil once told me in the 80s when they were rocking and rolling Ted DiBiase and Hulk Hogan, they were very popular. They even got to meet Victoria Beckham and David Beckham. And we did the math, and they would have probably been kids then. So we met an 8-year-old David Beckham and said, you're very good at soccer. Yolanda said, Virgil needs a mini doc. That he does. Sean said, brunch is an event. Lunch is a meal break. Mina Coletta said, RJ, what sort of restaurant did you work at? We need more waiter stores. I worked at a bar. And I was started as, they call it a bar back, but it's a busboy. And I didn't do that for too long before they realized it's not that good at it. I'd perhaps be better as a waiter. So they made me a waiter, and that was a fun. It was okay. I was good at like not bothering people. I don't want to be, because I hate when waiters are in my face. So it's like, here's what's going on. Here's the deal. Let me know if you guys need anything. Otherwise, I'm going to check in sporadically. I'm not going to make a big thing out of it. My thing with my psychology was always to tell them what I didn't like on the menu. So I thought, oh, this guy's giving us the real deal. We can trust him. But it was mainly just drunk people. And then fights would break. I was a larger individual. Fights would break out. And they would look at me like, aren't you going to help? It's like, I don't know. I'm a fucking waiter. What is wrong with you? I did once talk down a fight from happening because it was a Tuesday. I mean, it's 2 drunk guys, and they were like, no. I'm like, guys, there was like almost nobody else in the place. And it was like a Tuesday night. You just want to leave. And you're like, guys, it's a Tuesday. Thursday to Sunday. Have at it. But at a bar on a Tuesday, you're going to, come on, God. And they're like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you. Little Tuesday respect, please. Raymond Greaves said good morning from Cleveland, Oklahoma. I'm running late. What state's next? Neil said there was a lot of Virgil told me tweets when he was on the Hammerstein show, and they were very amusing. Well, that is mine. Dave said if Virgil has Olive Garden experiences, what would RJ have? I like Bob Evans. I like Cracker Barrel. I have very variety of experiences. Rachel said the show I was at, a little show in the backwoods of Milford, Connecticut, in a brewery, and yet Virgil found it. He had a good compass. Neil said, I think I'd like to meet Virgil and get a picture of me handing him some money. SM said, RJ the negotiator. Rachel said, oh, I wish I had taken a picture of him handing the money to Virgil. Always regret this now. Girl said, my son once broke up a fight because he looked like Jesus. So they said, okay, Jesus, and knocked it off. He had that Jesus appeal. That was that look. Even back then, back in the Jesus times, they said, I don't know who this guy looks like, but I trust him. Let's listen to him, some of us. Girl said, my son once broke up a fight because I literally just fucking read this. Nail said, see, I looked down at my what would RJ do bracelet and decide not to misbehave on Tuesdays. You can't. Thursday, you can start fucking shit up. Friday, Saturday, Sunday's a bit of a come down. Monday, we're back together. Tuesday, it's off the table. It's not like, yeah, you can't start shit. Because then what are you going to have, like a fucked up layover Wednesday? It's ridiculous. The middle of your week? Which is totally, totally insane. Neil said, I would for sure listen to someone who looks like Santa. Similar to Jesus. And really, Santa just looks like an older Jesus. Never really saw Jesus get old. 33, out of there. You would assume he'd put on some weight, lower his voice, go gray. It's a good transition. Sean said, this guy has a messianic vibe to him. I think we should hear what he has to say. Big words. These Jesus people. SM said, fuck up shit Thursday. Noted. It's a great time. You rest Tuesday. You rest Wednesday. Thursday, it's like the old Elton John song. Thursday night, time to fight. Remember that? Neil said, Missy made, oh yes, this is odd. What would RJ do bracelets that were fan made? And I don't have them. I don't tell them, but whoever has them enjoys them. Pogo said, I have a brother who looks like Santa now, but did he look like Jesus before? Neil said, RJ would make a good, I would not make a good Jesus. Not at all. I would not. So much work. So much telling people, like, come with me. You have to get all these people together. Here's the plan. Actually, I would absolutely, though, flip that fucking table. That was great performance. That was like Pacino at the end of Glengarry Glen Ross. That was like, go get it. It's been bubbling. It's been simmering. Didn't hit anyone. Flipped the table. And then said, clean this up, and I'm not giving you a tip either. It was great. Shades of Brock Lesnar. Matt Curtis here. I'm late. Just pretend I was here for the whole time. Thank you for all your support, Matt Curtin. Now that you're wrestling again, I guess you guys are wrestling. That's the thing you guys do now. Good luck with all that. Maybe I'll wrestle Mad Curtin one day. But also, even if we said that we wrestled and we ever said nobody would believe it, so we can just say we did it and had it. It doesn't make a difference. That's what happens. There's a real troll synergy. Min said, thoughts on the Rumble last night? I thought there was too many people in the ring. I did. And I'm happy that people started getting thrown out because it was getting crowded, quite frankly. There was a lot going on. I worry about the ring. How can the ring hold all this? 30 people? This is crazy. We never quite got to all 30 in the ring at once because people came in and there's other people going out, and that's fine. You know? And, they kept playing that horrible noise. Stop it. Hurts my Hurts my ears. Neil said if RJ did make bracelets, we would so officially look like a cult. It would rule. Yeah, I'm not making bracelets. Spot Center said Jesus had to take a bump on the Barry Wrestling Christmas show this past year. Didn't flip the table, though. Not very authentic. Todd said, turning water into medium roast. Jesus City. All right. And I would just have the beans with me. Just give me a minute, guys. Close your eyes. You're going to love it. Rachel said, you already maintain a cult. I don't maintain it. This is not a cult. This is just people who follow me. Quite frankly, should be larger. It's only a cult because it's not big enough. It's not necessarily what I wanted, but it's what I have. It's what I'm stuck with. I'm trying to make the best. Sean said, communion is for closers only. You call yourself a disciple, you son of a bitch. That was my Alec Baldwin in Jesus times. Nail said, Mad Card, I love what you said earlier at 9:31 a.m. Didn't we all? We all had a good laugh. SM said, somebody looking like Jesus would not stop me from fighting. Be like, shut the fuck up, you Jesus-looking fuck. That's not nice. Andrea said, you would need to learn carpentry. Did he learn carpentry? Did he make anything? Have we seen any of these products? An armoire, perhaps? Spot Center said, Jesus bumped into church too. Mad Kurt said, I've never done wrestling, but technically, yes. Mad Kurt and I are technical wrestlers, and that technically, we're wrestlers. Austin said, I have to leave a little early today, so RJ and everyone have a good day. And tip your waitress. Don't put anyone through a table either. Mad Kurt said, remember our match last week? I'm still feeling it emotionally. Nail said, do your thing. It's Sunday. Thanks. Everyone's talking to SM. It's okay, SM. SM said, RJ is so close to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, and there should be a lot more. It's not even remotely acceptable across any form of social media. Am I just bothering people? Just tell me. If you say, we find you a little annoying, and I'll say, okay, I'll post less. They want more. But if people don't like what you post and you post more, it's just annoying. Sean said, we need to get RJ some rose-colored sunglasses for his sermons. I need to go out in the street and do this. Sean said, put that body of Christ down. This is Glengarry, Glen Jesus. Is what I'm working on right now. Spicer said, for the right price, would you wear a costume and appear at pro wrestling show in California? The fromage horsemen need to be taken down a peg. If they're going to pay me to come and do that, then I will. I'm not going to do it for free. I already do enough fucking shit for free. And I'll team with Rob Boss, unfortunately. Jeff Sheehan said, if this isn't a cult, I'm discontinuing my membership. Some people are just really looking for a cult. Rachel said, my whole childhood Catholic education is now ruined. The carpenter who never actually made anything. What's one thing? Name one thing. A canoe, something. SM said, okay, a 60-second scene request. You're the waiter trying to get people to stop fighting by using fake Bible quotes. Okay, guys. Nope, it's good. If I could just get through the appetizers, that would be... Well, as you saw on the board, the IPA... Oh okay. Guys, they knoweth not what Tuesday brings, but mirth from beggars and from kings. When next we meet in Frightened Stone, don't come alone. From Wibberton to Wobberton, it's 15 miles. From Wobberton to Wibberton, it's 15 miles. From Wibberton to Wobberton, and Wobberton to Wibberton. From Wibberton to Wobberton, it's 15 miles. If we could just don't look back. Hey there, friends. Who cares what aggression sends? Let us not. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. On a Tuesday. Okay, great. 2 IPAs coming up. And a scene. Michelle said, is neither an option, Leo? Nail said, it's a cult, which is why you can't leave as a culty. Todd said, the leads are shit. Todd, like me, has read Glengarry Glen Ross at least once a year. Nail said, RJ316 said, thou must calm thine selves on a Tuesday. Michelle said, Rob Bass of It Takes Two fame. Sean said, sir, please put the little person down. Sebastian's going to say, yes, Poe, all 4 different kinds of cheeses. We're talking about the cheese horseman here. Nail said, at this point, they've pulled the knives out while RJ talks of Wibberton. Oh my God, Todd's on a roll. Give me the hood leads, the Bethlehem leads. They just like talking to clergymen. Aaron said, amen. Yolanda is having a good time, as am I. I really enjoy. I saw Glengarry Glen Ross on Broadway, and Al Pacino was in the role that Jack Lemmon plays in the movie. So he was Shelley the Machine Levine. He was the older man, but he was wearing these orthopedic shoes. And I don't even know how to explain. It looks like his feet were just like wrapped. They looked like water shoes. I remember sitting with my family going, is this a character choice? I don't think it's a character choice. They're not prominently featured. It's just something I feel like we notice. So my goal is to maybe, at some point get an interview with him and ask about the shoes. I'm sure he'll be fine answering it. Nail said, I know that rhyme about the girl with the curl. Nail said, is it a nursery rhyme? I don't think it's in the traditional realm of nursery rhyme, like a Miss Muffet or a Little Boy Blue or a old woman who lived in a shoe. So crooked man in a crooked house. What else? Mary, Mary, quite contrary. And then the little girl, they just call her the forehead girl. It's ridiculous. Curl girl is weird. I like to sometimes say girls, like they say it in Laurel and Hardy. Goyles. Todd said, fuck the machine, fuck you. Nobody wants to hear your war stories. I'm just going to do the whole play. Nail said, RJ should get some old person orthopedic slippers for standing on the kitchen for an hour. I know. Sometimes I have a little mat to stand on. I have one when I do a standing desk. But what you don't see is there's so much business with my legs right now. Just moving, stretching, posing. There's a lot going on downstairs. But as you know, this is really an upper body business. Pogirl said, I used to cry about that girl with the curl because I knew she was hotted. I had the curl, and you, Pogirl, were indeed hotted. SM said, let's have him rap these nursery rhymes. No, thank you. Rachel said, actually, RJ, do you have shoes or socks or anything on? I have socks on, only because it's very cold. But they're low. They're just for really the soles of my feet. Otherwise, I get very, very hot. Nail said, hotted is a great word. You have to say it like that. It creeps up on you. Hotted. And it grabs you. She was horrid. Not the same. Horrid. Pogirl said, I'm looking up that character to see if you're pulling my leg. She was a bad girl. Is that the one who gave her mother 40 whacks? Was that the boarding girl? Did she have a girl? How horrid could she be? Todd said, Ricky Roma is a dear, dear friend. I'm going to go to Mitch and Murray. I'm going to go to Lemkin. It's the only time Lemkin, I believe, is mentioned in that. We're just me and Todd here, just doing Glengarry Glen Ross references. And that's fine. But again, the orthopedic shoes on Al Pacino. Is he having problems? If he is, maybe put it in the playbill. Tonight, the part of Shelley Levine will be played by Al Pacino, who is wearing orthopedic shoes as per his doctor's order. Nail said vile is also a great. I found it vile and obtuse. Pogirl said, who is Pop-Tart Boy? I cannot help you. RJ Ramos, also known as the other RJ, says, oh boy, am I extremely late. Yeah, we're almost done. Todd said Pacino is 5'4". So maybe if you're a smaller person, needs orthopedic. I mean, maybe he wanted lifts. Maybe he said Shelley Levine should be bigger. 5'8". Maybe that's what they were. Maybe he's got those cane boots on. Cane, they kind of his boots look like Spice Girls pumps. Do you know what I'm talking about? Poor guy. Just give him a couple inches. So need the 7 foot. I always say put some insoles in the boots. That way you don't see that they're just closer to the top of the shoe. It's a little trick I have, of course. I have lifts. I had my spine extended. Nails had Spice Girl shoes too, naturally. And God bless Meatloaf, their wonderful bus driver. All right, well, that was the show. Let's get a final look at these. Fine. Oh, this is heavy today. Why isn't this? Is this gonna fall? I can't even fully turn. I have to hold this up. Well, this is the underwear. Thank you everyone for listening and chatting and watching. It's citrusy. I'm like a good citrus. I feel full of acid. And I need to peel. You know, my grandfather used to take the orange peel and squeeze the citrus into his nose. It was just, just use Vicks. He had it around the house. I got a bottle of Vicks in 1975. Just use that. I don't know what his problem was, but nevertheless, until next time, Godspeed and God bless.